that Aquafina on. We on this water style. We need some more water style jutsus in the game, man. Like desperately, desperately need that shit. Oh man, King AK-47 is live right now. Of course, this man will go live. Why live? I always watch this man lives.
Don't fall behind.
Yeah, water style is definitely slept on. I got the chakra scalpel, man. Hit the like button and comment down if you saw the short when I got the chakra scalpels, man. I called that out, man. The power of the tongue is incredible.
Escape.
God damn, what the hell? I'm gonna throw his kunai and kill me this time. That was nice. That was nice.
But Yamato also used water release. He even created this huge waterfall and basin, even though there was no natural water for it. Pretty impressive. This technique isn't just cool for creating a space to relax or train. It's also super strategic. By drastically changing the environment, it can mess with visibility and create great hiding spots, letting the user trick the enemy and temporarily disappear while planning their next move. Yamato used this when teaching Naruto how to add wind chakra to his Rasengan, but like with Itachi, Kishimoto-sensei didn't really explore this ability much.
That Minato
So,
weapon
most
is
viewers probably
crazy.
forgot about this hidden gem of Yamato's. Hiding and miss technique. Alright, let's talk about the hiding and miss technique. This is like the legendary jutsu of the Kirigakure, and it's what makes their ninjas the real deal. It lets the user create a thick fog that covers the battlefield, turning the place into a silent killing zone. It's like the perfect environment for a ninja to vanish and strike without a sound. Now, the magic happens when the user transforms their chakra into super tiny water molecules and controls the thickness of the mist based on how much chakra they pump into it. Zabuza Momochi perfected this technique to the point where he could perform silent killings. Yeah, pinpointing his target by even the tiniest sounds, like a heartbeat or breath. This jutsu sounds simple, but the mist is so dense that it can shut down even the mighty Sharingan and Rinnegan. Those top-tier jutsu can't even see through it. Unless you've got Byakugan or some insane sensory skills, you're probably gonna die before you even know what's happening. This jutsu basically sums up the Hidden Mist Village's philosophy of a perfect assassin is one who is never seen. Hydrification technique. This one's a seriously unique move from the Hozuki clan, and it's one of the most advanced water chakra techniques in the ninja world. So here's the deal. This jutsu lets the user turn their body cells into liquid form at a molecular level. I'm talking everything, from the tiniest hair strands to your muscles. Basically, when they're hit with a physical attack, the affected area liquefies instantly, making the strike pass right through without causing any harm. Then, it solidifies back to normal real quick, creating a nearly perfect defense. However, if you electrify them, it works. Water's pretty good at conducting it, you know. Now, the defensive ability is just one part of what this jutsu can do. The Hozuki clan can completely morph their bodies to slip through the tiniest cracks, blend into water like it's nothing, pump water into their muscles to boost their strength to crazy levels, or shoot water out of their fingertips like a freaking gun. It's super versatile. And don't forget Suigetsu.
We need some
That guy's
hydrifications in
always liquefying
Shinobi
when he's
Striker,
avoiding
man.
something. And if you want to capture them, do it as if you're holding water. You need a sealed container. This jutsu has earned the Hozuki clan a terrifying reputation as the uncatchable assassins of the Hidden Mist Village. Water release, Tate Aboshi. Suigetsu's got a quite impressive move. It's a mix of his hydrification ability and the raw power of water. So basically, Suigetsu dives into the water, then he creates this massive wave that looks like a freaking monster fish. He can use it to attack or shield
We need
his
better
squad.
water
He
style
used it to protect
jutsu.
his team from Killer Bee in his tailed beast mode. Actually, when Suigetsu got hit by a tailed beast ball up close, that wave couldn't handle the heat, and he passed out, turning into something like jelly. But still, you've done enough now. Steaming Danger Tyranny. This is the deadliest application of the hydrification technique. It's the endless explosion masterpiece of Gengetsu Hozuki, the second Mezuka Gen. A complex ninjutsu that blends a deep understanding of thermodynamics and top-tier water chakra control. So here's how it works. Gengetsu creates an adorable copy of himself, using a mix of oil and water from his body. This mini version has a unique structure. Its core is water, surrounded by a thin layer of oil, creating a self-sustaining, closed thermodynamic system. Now, the fun part. When the copy is active, it starts absorbing heat through rapid movement, causing the oil layer to heat up and the water inside to vaporize. This process builds up an insane amount of pressure, forcing the copy to expand until it hits its limit and explodes with massive power. The point is, after the explosion, steam rises into the air, meets cool air, and condenses into hail that falls down, cooling the copy and causing it to shrink back to its original size, ready to start the cycle all over again. It creates an unstoppable, perpetual explosion. Even though it constantly changes size, the copy moves at an insane speed, fast enough to dodge Gaara's sand. But, and this is a big but, the technique weakens the Mezuka Gei's real body, making him vulnerable while using it. Onoki, the third Tsuchikage, even called it the scariest water technique he's ever faced. It's also why Gengetsu Hozuki became one of the most powerful and mysterious Kage in history. Undefeated on the battlefield until he sacrificed himself in a battle with Mu. Soap Bubble Ninjutsu. Soap Bubble Ninjutsu is a special branch of water release developed
Let's get
by
the likes up for the
Utakata,
water style,
the
man. Let's get the
Jinchuriki
likes
of
up for the water
60s,
style.
Seiken. The technique uses the concept of surface tension of water molecules combined with special chakra to create bubbles that are both durable and flexible. Utakata uses a bubble pipe to control them. Blowing chakra transform through a special soap solution to create bubbles with all sorts of
That boy
crazy
using
abilities.
soap with his
He can
jutsus,
change the
man. Do
chemical
your
properties
homework
of the
on
bubbles
cleansiness
at
to the
will.
deafness.
He can make explosive bubbles filled with flammable gas, acid bubbles that corrode opponents, smoke bubbles to blind and disorient enemies, or even sticky bubbles that trap people. Harusame, Utakata's master, was the one who first developed this technique, but Utakata took it to the next level by making giant bubbles that he can move inside of, turning these bubbles from a weapon into a versatile mode of transportation. Water release, water mirror technique. The water mirror
Had to take a picture of that for my cover,
technique
for my
is one of
thumbnail.
Yagura's special and unique moves that allows the user to counter and nullify attacks with style. Defend. They can counter hard, catching the attacker totally off guard. But once the reflections collide with the attack, they dissolve back into water. This technique requires high precision and some serious calculation skills. In a fight, the user can totally control the flow of the battle, putting the opponent on the defensive. It's pretty much regarded as a tactical gem, offering a smart way to deal with heavy attacks without burning out too much energy. Heavenly Weeping. Alright, when we talk water style, we absolutely have to mention the second Hokage. Heavenly Weeping is this sick water ninjutsu that Tobirama Senju came up with. The guy literally turns chakra inside his body into pure water, then forms it into sharp little senbon right in his mouth, before blasting them at his target faster than you can blink. Tobirama can hit those sweet spots, pressure points, and weak spots, like he's playing darts. It's perfect for ambushes because seriously, you don't need any fancy hand signs, and it's basically invisible until you're hit. When Tobirama got pinned by Madara, he used this move while Madara was distracted. Only problem was, by that point, Madara was out here flexing way too hard. Water Release. Water Severing Wave. Stronger than the water needles, we have Water Release. Water Severing Wave. This is another water release move with crazy water pressure, and it's used by none other than Tobirama Senju. Tobirama focuses his chakra into his stomach, transforms it into water, and then lets loose a powerful stream of high-pressure water. It's strong enough to cut through pretty much anything, even the roots of the god tree. Like, it's no big deal. I mean, he's literally cutting through the roots of one of the most legendary trees in the entire ninja world. That's some next-level water control right there. Water Release, Water Dragon.
That nigga's so lucky, bro. They got these stupid broken weapons,
we
bro.
have to mention the Water
I was
Dragon bullet.
taming
It's
that
the
nigga,
iconic
bro, and that's
jutsu
all
of the
he had
whole
to do
water
to kill
style.
me, bro.
It's one
We
of
got
those
to do
powerful
something
and
better,
elegant
bro.
techniques where
So
the user
Leo,
controls
Cyber
water to
Connect,
form a
please
giant
do
water
better,
dragon.
bro.
This dragon then charges at the target, causing some serious damage on impact. At first, this jutsu relies on having some water nearby, but with the right skills, a ninja can even spit the water out themselves. And let's be honest, this move is just cool. It shows up a few times in the series, and every time it looks awesome. If you're a ninja with great chakra control, this technique can become a pretty scary long-range attack. You can pretty much control the battlefield from a distance with it. During the 4th Great Ninja War, Mei took it up a notch by combining it with the Raikag's Lightning Chakra, creating the Lightning Water Dragon Bolt. Not only does it do the same damage, but now it's also electrically charged, paralyzing the targets. Pretty wild. Water Prison Technique. This is one of the most iconic water release techniques in Naruto. It creates a massive water sphere that traps the enemy inside. The water in this ball is so heavy that the person trapped in it can barely move. And on top of that, they're struggling to breathe. Once you're caught in it, unless you're a Hyuga like Neji, who can release chakra all over their body, or you can manipulate water, you're basically just waiting to drown. The way it works is pretty simple. The user has to keep their hand on the ball to maintain it. Sounds like a weakness, right? But smart ninjas can use a water clone to hold the ball while their real body takes care of other enemies. And it's not just about trapping someone. In the anime, if anyone gets too curious and touches the ball, they get sucked in too, turning it into a full-blown trap. But even a great jutsu has its flaws. If the user loses focus or gets knocked back, the prison breaks apart. That's why it's awesome for 1v1 fights or when you've got clones to back you up. But
That
it's
shit
not really
is not
something you'll
fair,
see in
bro.
large-scale battles.
That's how
Water
niggas
release,
probably feel
water
fighting
shark, bullet
Minato.
technique. The moment you hear the word shark,
God
you probably
damn.
already know what's coming, right? Yep, it's one of Kisame's signature moves. He controls a massive amount of water and shapes it into a giant shark.
your
So,
fucking
the
ass
user
out,
swings their hand, directs the water at the enemy, a shark forms, and follows that water stream, smashing into the target with serious force. The power of this technique comes from both the speed and the volume of the water, making it destructive. Sounds simple, right? Well, honestly, this move isn't that OP
shit
on
right
its
now.
own,
That shit
but
is
of
whack.
course, it's Kisame we're talking about. The guy could summon hundreds of water sharks if he wanted to. Now, we have Water Release, Great Shark Bullet Technique. This is basically the upgraded version of the water shark bullet. It hits way harder. Instead of a small water shark, Kisame uses his chakra to summon a massive one full of raw power. What's really wild about this jutsu is that it absorbs chakra from enemy techniques. So when an opponent uses a powerful jutsu, this shark takes that chakra and gets bigger and stronger. In other words, the stronger the opponent, the stronger the shark gets. It's like a dangerous counterattack that turns the enemy's power against them. That's what makes this technique so dangerous. Kisame can literally use the opponent's strength to boost his own. And next, we got Water Release, 5 feeding sharks.
What?
These sharks don't just rush at their target with insane speed, they also move in a whirlpool formation, making it nearly impossible for the victim to escape. The cool thing about 5 feeding sharks is that it's not just a one and done bite. Once the enemy is surrounded by these 5 sharks, it's pretty much game over. They don't stop. They keep biting and tearing at the target, draining their strength bit by bit. In the anime, this move even gets an upgrade, where the sharks can regenerate from the water around them, meaning you can't just destroy them unless you have something seriously strong against water. And it doesn't stop there. Kisame can even turn the entire ocean into a swarm of killer sharks with Water Release, 1,000 feeding sharks, 1,000 sharks, and they're all coming for you. He creates a massive wave, and in that wave, 1,000 water sharks form. When the wave crashes down, it's like the ocean itself is devouring the enemy. Compared to 5 feeding sharks, this move isn't just a step up in numbers. It's an upgrade in scale and power. It's no longer just a technique for one-on-one battles. This thing could wipe out a whole battlefield. What's the strength of this move?
They're already doing niggas
overwhelming
like
power,
so
and
much of
constant
that
pressure.
murder dude.
In short, you're pretty much dead if you're not Might Guy. Water Release, exploding water, colliding wave. If there's one jutsu that shows just how boss Kisame Hoshigaki is, it's definitely exploding water, colliding wave. Unlike your average water
need
release
all these
ninjas
jutsus.
who can only pull off little water attacks here and there, Kisame just opens his mouth and he floods the entire battlefield with an ocean. When he uses it, he spits out a huge amount of water that creates a massive tsunami, sweeping away and crushing anyone who gets in its way. And to make things worse, he rides that wave, using its insane speed to close in and land attacks, while his opponents are still struggling to stay afloat. What makes this technique even scarier is that the amount of water created depends on the user's chakra, and Kisame has chakra on par with a tailed beast. That means, even if he's standing in the middle of a barren desert, he can create an ocean in a split second. It's not just an attack, it's a way for him to change the whole battlefield to his liking. Once the ground turns into a sea, Kisame is basically unbeatable, because he can use all the advantages of a water release ninja, while his opponents are left scrambling just to keep from drowning. So, if you see Kisame start to open his mouth, it's probably best to turn around and run. Water Prison Shark Dance Technique. Alright, this is when Kisame decides to turn the entire battlefield into his personal playground. Kisame turns the whole area around him into a massive water prison, and trust me, it's pretty much impossible to escape. Kisame's standing in the middle of it, and as he moves, the water moves with him. No matter how fast you swim, you're just getting deeper into despair. This is the kind of jutsu Kisame was born to use. He's a straight-up monster who dominates underwater combat. Now, it's not perfect though. If 2 opponents start running in opposite directions, Kisame's gonna have a hard time keeping both under control. But one-on-one, good luck. Rain Tiger at Will Technique. So, this isn't your usual attack or
Let's use
defense
this next
jutsu.
one.
This is a super
use this
advanced
next one.
sensor technique developed by Nagato, and it represents the most insane control over water chakra we've ever seen in the ninja world. The basic idea is that the user creates special rain clouds filled with their personal chakra, and then they control those clouds to cover a massive area. In Pain's case, this covers the entire Omega Core. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Each raindrop is connected directly to the user's sensory nervous system, creating this live, constantly updating sensory network. So, when a foreign ninja with a different chakra than the Omega Core residents steps into this rain, their chakra messes up the sensory network, instantly alerting Pain to an intruder. But this technique only detects the presence of someone, not their exact location. So Pain has to team up with a scout expert like Conan to actually figure out where the intruder is hiding. Well, most people just think the rain is a natural part of Eternal Rain Village, having no idea that every raindrop is actually Pain's eyes, watching everything. So this jutsu is basically a symbol of Pain's absolute control over Omega Core. He's like a god, always watching, with the rain as his all-seeing eye. Jiraiya once said this was the one sensory technique that stopped him from infiltrating a ninja village without being caught. Yes, the mission to infiltrate a Mega Cure is S rank for a reason. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
What's going on, everybody? Kage here, and today we're going to be talking about water release. So, as is the case with all 4 other nature transformations, there's a location in the Naruto universe where water release is most commonly seen, and that place happens to be the village hidden in the mist. It's rare to see anybody with a water affinity outside of the hidden mist village, but it has happened before, and the most famous example of this is probably Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage of the Hidden Leaf village. Anyway, moving on, water release is a bit odd, as most of the time, users of it manipulate water that already exists around their body, as opposed to turning their chakra into it the same way users of other elements do. It is possible for a person to convert their chakra into tangible water, but doing so requires much more skill than manipulating water that's already there. Needless to say, a user of water release is at a massive advantage whenever they're in a location surrounded by water, so lakeside, beaches, ponds, and other areas like them are where water release users are at their most powerful. Of the 5 basic natures in the Naruto world, water release is likely the most versatile by a landslide. There's a whole lot you can accomplish through water ninjutsu, and this comes as a result of how easy it is to manipulate water by its own nature. Zabuza has shown the ability to turn water into mist. Urukata has shown the ability to create bubbles through water ninjutsu, which can serve a whole lot more purposes than you may think. Various characters have shown the ability to increase the weight of the water they manipulate in order to trap targets inside of it, and a couple of characters have even shown the ability to increase the viscosity of the water they control in order to turn it into a syrup-like fluid that can trap targets in place. Of course, water ninjutsu can also be employed offensively, and when they are, the damage they tend to cause is more straightforward than that of any of the other 4 elements. Getting hit by a water ninjutsu, of sufficient scale anyway, will deal a bunch of concussive damage to a person's body and leave them with very serious injuries, both external and internal. While fire burns and sears the skin, wind cuts through its targets, and lightning pierces and shocks its targets, most of the time water just overwhelms whatever it comes into contact with loads and loads of brute force, the same way a powerful taijutsu technique would. When interacting with other elements, water is strong against fire and weak against earth. I won't even bother explaining why water is strong against fire, because... But the reasons for water's weakness against Earth are that Earth structures tend to be very strong and rigid, which in turn makes them capable of reflecting and resisting the force backing water techniques, thereby rendering them ineffective. As I mentioned in both the lightning and wind release videos, water is typically employed offensively in combination with both wind release and lightning release. Wind release because the wind increases the overall concussive and cutting power of the water it combines with, and lightning because water conducts electricity incredibly well. In both cases, employed bodies of water act as conductors for the element they combine with the power and draw force of the water generally taking precedence over the effects of the second element. Members of the Hozuki clan that make use of the hydrification technique to turn their body into water run into an additional weakness to lightning release, as their liquid bodies begin to conduct electricity incredibly well, which in turn leads them to become completely paralyzed if they get hit with a lightning release jutsu while they're liquefied. So, I think that about does it for water release. Next week I'm going to be covering earth release, and after that I'll be done with the 5 basic natures. As always, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas for future video topics you want me to cover, leave them in the comments below, and if I like them enough, I'll definitely make it a point to get to them. Anyway, yeah, have a wonderful day, everybody. Talk to you guys later. Kage out. Bye. Oh yeah, also I'm gonna plug my Patreon real quick, because I started one of those.
Kirigakure, the village hidden in the mist, known for secrecy, cruelty, and power. Of all the great shinobi villages, none has a darker history, and its shadows, the Mizukage, carried all of that weight. Today, I'm going to tell you the full story of every Mizukage from the 1st to the 6th, their powers, their jutsu, their rise, their downfalls, and the legacies they left behind. No filters, no skipping details. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you haven't watched my videos on the other Kagais, make sure to do that. Let's dive into the mist. The first Mizukage, Byakuren. Byakuren, the founder of Kirigakure, an old warrior scarred by the Warring States era. White-haired, blind in one eye, with jagged teeth like a predator. He forged the mist by uniting the strongest clans of the Land of Water and stood as its first representative at the 5 Kage Summit. Now, here's the catch. Byakuren's abilities aren't shown in the anime or manga, but based on his era, we know this. He survived the Warring States era, where only the deadliest shinobi lived long enough to grow old. That
Just
alone
listen
tells
to all
you
the
he was
information in my
monstrously
background.
strong. We do know
There's
he
no-
had
there's
powerful
no reason
water
we
release
have
techniques,
less than 20
since it's
watts
the
now.
signature of
A
Kirigakure.
basic
Most likely he also had
ninja
lightning
release.
release or wind release, the common natures
Shit's
among mist
disgusting.
clans. He was the foundation, the man who built the mist from blood and fear. Byakuren eventually passed away quietly. His greatest jutsu wasn't a technique. It was creating the village hidden in the mist itself. The second Mizukage, Gengetsu Hozuki. If Byakuren was the founder, Gengetsu was the monster, a genius from the Hozuki clan, tall, sharp, and smug, with eyes that seemed to mock you. His clan ability, the hydrification technique, allowed his entire body to become liquid. You couldn't cut him. You couldn't pierce him. He could slip through any attack like flowing water. But Gengetsu wasn't about
That should be so
He was about
nice if them boy
overwhelming
give us a little
illusions and death traps. He
hydrification
could
mode
summon a
like
giant
common
clam
way,
that
but the
released
water
a thick
style.
mist
So
and created
when people try to
mirages
hit you,
with
it don't
genjutsu
hurt
so
you at all.
strong
That
that
should
it
be so
fooled
nice.
entire battalions. You'd see enemies where there were none, strike shadows, and be cut down while swinging at air. And his ultimate? The steaming danger tyranny, a clone made of oil and water, shaped like a small version of himself. It would rapidly expand, explode like a bomb, then evaporate, reform, and repeat the process endlessly. Imagine a suicide bomber that never dies. That was Genjutsu. His chakra natures included water, fire, and earth, which allowed him to create both boil release and his unique oil water jutsu. His fighting style was unpredictable, flashy, and devastating, but even legends fall. His
Even
final
legends
battle was
fall.
against Mu, the second Suchi.
If you had this part of the
Two
video,
Kage,
man, get the
both
likes up,
monsters,
man. We
clashed
just got
and killed
we
each
got a
other.
goal of
That
30
was his
views
end.
and 10
the
likes.
third Mizukage, the Silent Shadow. The third Mizukage is a ghost in history. His name is never given, his jutsu never revealed. What we do know is that he once stood as Byakuren's bodyguard and later became Mizukage himself. Some say he was the one who started the brutal practices that earned Kirigakure the nickname the Bloody Mist. The graduation exams where children were forced to kill each other, that likely began under his reign. Chakra natures, unknown. Jutsu, unknown. But remember, the Mizukage were chosen for power. He absolutely had strong water release and probably wielded advanced Kekkei Genkai from the clans he ruled. His mystery is his legacy. He was the shadow no one could see clearly, and that fits perfectly with the Mist's reputation. The fourth Mizukage, Yagura Karatachi. Now we get to Yagura. The story is pure tragedy. Yagura was the Jinchuriki of the Three-Tailed
Yagura was
Usobu,
stronger than
and not just any Jinchuriki,
13-year-old
a perfect Jinchuriki. He had complete
Nobody likes to
mastery
talk
over
about
Usobu,
that.
which made him one of the most powerful shinobi alive. He wielded water release at an elite level, shaping massive torrents, walls, and deadly water bullets. With Usobu's chakra, he could shroud himself in the tailed beast's form, use coral spikes to trap enemies, and unleash tailed beast bombs capable of leveling landscapes. But his reign is remembered for one thing, the Bloody Mist. Under Yagura, the academy graduation exams forced children to kill each other. The village drowned in blood and fear. To the world, Yagura was a cruel dictator. But here's the twist, Yagura wasn't in control of himself. He was manipulated by Obito Uchiha, who used genjutsu to turn him into a puppet. All of the bloodshed wasn't Yagura's will, it was Obito's. Yagura was both victim and villain. Eventually, he was freed, but his rule didn't last long. He died young, either assassinated
style
or
shit
killed
tough,
in
man.
rebellion. The details remain foggy, but his story is clear.
It's
The
like he's
perfect
not doing
Jinchuriki who
shit
became
for
a
me.
prisoner in his own body. The fifth Mizukage, Mei Terumi. Then came Mei Terumi, the fifth Mizukage, and with her the Bloody Mist finally ended. Mei was powerful, beautiful, and charismatic. She had not one, but two Kekkei Genkai. Her lava release allowed her to spit streams of molten magma that burned through anything. Her boil release created a corrosive acidic mist that melted steel, armor, and even Madara Uchiha's Susanoo. She also mastered water release and fire release, giving her a deadly range of abilities. In battle, she could flood the field, burn it down, or melt it away. She was versatile, lethal. But Mei's greatest achievement wasn't just her jutsu, it was her leadership. She ended the Bloody Mist era, opened Kirigakure to diplomacy, and rebuilt its reputation on the global stage. She represented the Mist at the 5 Kage Summit and fought bravely in the 4th Great Ninja War, standing against Madara and the Ten Tails army. Mei stepped down later, remembered as a reformer who brought life back to a village drowned in blood. And finally, the 6th Mizukage, Chojuro. At first, Chojuro was shy, nervous, even clumsy with his words. But behind that awkwardness was a true warrior. He was one of the last of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, and his weapon was Hiramekare, a great twin-handled sword that stored chakra and could take any shape. He could form twin blades, massive hammers, even shoot chakra blasts, strong enough to destroy enemy defenses. Chojuro's chakra nature was water release, and he wielded it with precision. He fought in the 4th Great Ninja War, sealing enemies and striking down powerful foes. Over time, he grew into his role, shedding his timid nature. By the BORUTO era, Chojuro was a confident leader who represented a peaceful, united Mist village. His reign marked the end of the Bloody Mist's reputation and the beginning of an era of diplomacy and strength. He may not be the flashiest Mizukage, but Chojuro is proof that sometimes the strongest leaders are the quiet, steady ones. And there you have it, the full story of every Mizukage. Byakuran, the founder, Gengetsu, the illusionist monster, the mysterious third, Yagura, the tragic puppet, Mei, the reformer queen, Chojuro, the quiet blade. Together, they created one of the most fascinating and tragic legacies in all of Naruto, a legacy born in blood, but carried into peace. So tell me, who do you think was the strongest Mizukage? Drop your answer in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because there are still more hidden legends to uncover.
Of course,
The
Kakashi
CMA
hit
turned my
me
accounting
with that
skills
shit.
into strategy. CMA, confidence certified.
Oatmeal.
No. Cold pizza.
No. Avocado toast.
Oh, no.
Eggo waffles.
Yes!
Wait, you both said yes to something.
The delicious Eggo taste they want. The wholesome breakfast you want for them. Made straight from the griddle. No one says no to Eggo. Lego my Eggo.
Stone. It doesn't bend. It doesn't break.
Wow.
It stands tall against wind, water, and time itself. That's what Iwagakure.
A lot of stuff sucks in this game, man. Look at that shit, bro. That shit is spamming like a motherfucker.
Well done.
Yeah, this water style shit was a bad idea. Terrible idea. Gotta be more like a Ninja World League thing. Yeah. Yo, boy. I gotta hit that blunt. So y'all sit here and watch me hold this Rasengan. Cause I got That's the end. Yeah, I don't got no viewers anyway.